Holly Kovo from Fitting Fitness In. I'm a personal trainer and a nutrition specialist, and welcome to Get Healthy with Holly. Today, I'm going to give you some Holly's helpful hints on how to survive the holidays. Tips to survive the holidays. Let's start with holiday parties. Now, I know now that COVID is over, people are starting to have parties. So here's some tips. Before you go to that party, I always eat a little bit before I go. I eat my healthy food so that I'm not starving, so I can be very picky about what I eat. And when you get there and there's a buffet of everything to eat, you want to check out all the different foods first so that you can choose wisely and you can choose more of fruits and vegetables and maybe things that are lean protein. But if you start at one end and just start putting food on your plate at the buffet, you don't really know that the good stuff's at the end. So I always take a little walk through first. And also, if you're bringing things, because a lot of times it's potluck, you can always bring a healthy food so that you're in control of what you bring and it's something that you can eat. My other Holly's helpful hint is to sip wisely. And that is, if you're going to drink alcohol, for every glass of alcohol, have a glass of water. A glass of wine, a glass of water, a glass of beer, a glass of water. For two reasons. One, you're going to fill up faster, so you won't drink as much. And two, you're going to be hydrating as you drink. A hangover is really just dehydration. Not that I'm promoting you to drink so much that you're going to have a hangover, but for every glass of alcohol, a glass of water serves two purposes, fills you up and no hangover. The other thing is grab a small plate. A smaller plate, when you put food on that, you fill it up and it's less food. When you have a big plate and you fill that, there's a lot more food. So grab a smaller plate. And hopefully there's music and you can dance at this party, because then you can dance off your calories, which I love to do. Dancing is a great way to burn calories. It's a high cardio effect. You can burn a lot of calories dancing. Just think about when you're out there on the dance floor, you're not in the buffet line eating, or you're not drinking as much alcohol. Maybe you're going to drink more water because you're going to be thirsty. Also, you're going to be up there moving and getting some exercise and having fun. I mean, you can't, unless you don't like dancing, and I love dancing, you can't not have fun when you're out there dancing. And it keeps you away from the food. Now, it gets a little stressful during the holidays. There's so much going on. You can practice saying no. You are in control of your calendar and where you want to go. You don't have to say yes to every invitation. Pick and choose what you say yes to so that you can be in control of your social calendar. Don't let yourself get all stressed out. And if you do something relaxing like yoga or read a book, do something to reduce your stress. Take a hot bath or a hot tub. We have a hot tub. I love to get in that hot tub. Also, make time to have fun. With all the things that you have to do during the holiday, make time to have fun. You should have fun. All right, today I'm going to do 3 different recipes with pomegranate. So pomegranate is a great fruit. It has a lot of antioxidant properties, and it helps against arthritis. It helps against diabetes. There's a long list of things that it can help against. There are studies that show that it's good for your heart. It can help lower your blood pressure, and it can help reduce the plaque building up in your arteries. So it is great, and it's seasonal, and it's colorful, and it's red, so it's perfect for the holiday season. So I'm going to start with making the dessert first. Pomegranate with dark chocolate, little dark chocolate bites, because that needs to go in the fridge and harden up. And I'll do a shortcut and put it in the freezer because we don't have as much time. So what I'm going to do is I have to melt the chocolate, and I'm going to melt this in the microwave. So let me put it in here. I'm going to do 30 seconds first. Then I'll stir it up, another 30 seconds, stir it up, and if I need to do a little bit more, I'll put it on for 15 seconds. You don't want to put it on too long. You want to do 30 seconds max at a time so that it doesn't get burnt or it doesn't get too hot. And then we're going to put it in this piping bag, and we'll pipe it into these little mini muffin cups. The recipe, which will be up on my website, calls for the big muffin tins, but you know what? That's too big. And you know me, I'm all about portion control, so I'm making little mini dark chocolate pomegranate bites, all right? Because that's, you know, it's easier to eat and it's not as big. Doesn't mean you can't have as many, but I'm using the minis. All right, this is looking better. Ooh, mix it all up. Oh, that might be enough in this microwave. A couple chunks, but let's see if it'll melt just by being in the other chocolate. This looks good. So this is dark chocolate. Of course, you can do it with milk chocolate too, but dark chocolate has a little bit more health properties, a little more antioxidants. Now, here's my Holly's helpful hint or tip. Put the bag in a glass, pull it down until the tip is in there. It makes it a lot easier to fill. Is this hot? Not too hot. All right, so let's fill that in. Ooh, it's a lot of chocolate. You know, you probably have somebody at home that'll want to lick the bowl, or yourself. All right, there we go. Nice. And then you just pull it back up off of the glass. And there you do. You have it. All right, so, ooh, shoot. Let me start. I'm going to put this sideways like this. Let me start by putting a little bit of pomegranates in each one, in the bottom. Now, pomegranate is awesome, but it is a little bit of work to get the seeds out. You can buy them. Idlewild actually in Acton, they already have, I did buy some that are already seeded that you could just buy the seeds. But I did these at home, and the way that you cut a pomegranate that makes it easy is you cut the top off like a little square, and then you cut along the edges 4 quarters, and then you peel those edges and the seeds come right out. And then you just pop them out. It's so amazing when you do it that way. All right, so I have pomegranate in there. Now I'm just gonna pipe some little bit of chocolate in each one. You can just go crisscross or circle it. Yeah. So if you're making the big ones, you only get about 10 out of that, but I'm making the little ones, so a little bit more. Okay, now we put a little more pomegranates on there. I'm using a lot of pomegranates today because I have 3 different recipes, starting with dessert. You know, when I go to a restaurant, I always look at the dessert menu first. Why? Well, because I like desserts, and we don't make a lot of desserts in our house. Well, I don't make a lot of desserts in my house. My daughter Jessica is a great baker. She likes to bake. But if I look at the dessert menu and I see something that I like on the dessert menu at the restaurant, then I'll adjust what I get for dinner so that I have room for dessert. Anybody else do that? Am I the only one who does that? Oop, there's a little bit of the other part. All right, and then you end with putting a little bit more chocolate on there. Here we go. Yeah. And then you stick this in the fridge for about an hour. If you don't have an hour, which we don't really, then you can put it in the freezer. But keep an eye on it because you don't want them frozen. You just want them hardened. You want the chocolate to harden up. Personally, I think these little mini ones are just big enough. Here we go. But since I have a lot of chocolate left, we're going to put some more chocolate on there. We don't want to waste any chocolate. Definitely not. All right, good. All right, so that is our pomegranate chocolate bites, and I'm going to stick this in the freezer and then come back and we're going to make our, what's next on our list? Pomegranate brie pistachio phyllo cups. So this next recipe is pomegranate brie pistachio phyllo cups. So I have some phyllo cups here. I have some pomegranate. I have some chopped pistachios. I like the low salted pistachios, but you can get whatever you want. And I have also some sea salt. So we preheated the oven to 375. I lined the baking sheet with parchment paper. I got my little phyllo cups, and what I'm going to do is put a little bit of pomegranate in each cup. Whoops. There we go. I should have grabbed a smaller spoon. So that you have a little, because then we're going to top it with brie and pistachios. These are falling all over the place, aren't they? These little pomegranate seeds. Okay, looks good. So it's so colorful too. So if you're going to bring this to, so we'll just put a little piece of brie in each one. If you're going to bring this to a party, it's going to be quite colorful, as is the dessert. That one's getting a little too much, so let me cut them in half so there's not too much in there. You don't want it overpowered. Cut this one in half. And then the third recipe I will do is brie. You can put it on bread, on bruschetta. You can put it on crackers. I'm going to use these nice Crunchmaster crackers that I love. All right, one more. A little bit there. Oop. Don't tip over the little phyllo cup. Here we go. And then this one, oops. Hey, see, it's not all perfect. Here we go. And then we're going to top it with some pistachio nuts. Might have to push them in there a little bit. That's one good thing about the brie is it's soft cheese, so you can really push them in. Did I miss this one? I missed this one. Now, depending on whether you're getting salted pistachio nuts or unsalted, I mean, you determine how much salt you want to put on there, because, you know, cheese in itself is salty. So I'm only going to put a little bit because I'm kind of sensitive to salt. A little bit. This is sea salt, by the way. Just ground it. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to put that in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. And we'll see how that goes. I'm going to put it in for 10 minutes. All right, I have my timer already set on my watch. Oh, I lost my timer. Okay, 10 minutes. There we go. Okay, now, in the interim, I'm going to make the next one, which is, I don't need these. Put these off to the side. I'll get my little plate here. And the next one is brie with pomegranate on crackers. And I'm using these Crunchmaster multigrain with sea salt. And these are crunchy baked rice crackers. These are really good. My family loves these. So you just lay these out. I'm making very quick, easy, healthy recipes today that you can bring to any holiday party. Okay, we'll do those. Also, while I'm doing this, let's talk a little bit more about my Holly's Helpful Hints. So if you know you're going to a party or an event and it's going to be a lot of food, you can always prepare for those extra calories that you're going to eat by exercising that day. So if you already know you're going to be going to that, you can prepare and do your exercise in the morning. You can always remember portion control, portion control. Also, if you do eat a little more than you normally do, don't beat yourself up. It is the holidays. Just make sure you get back on track the next day. Don't wait another week to get back on track. Don't wait another month to get back on track. Get back on track the next day. Here we go. Now, we put these on. And quite frankly, it's easier if you use your fingers to press them in. So you just press them into the brie. Otherwise, they just keep rolling off, these little seeds, as you can see. They just keep rolling off. And you want to get some on there. Something to think about. When you're hosting, if you're making the meal, one, you get to control what the food is. So you can make all healthy foods. You get to pick that out. The other thing is, if you're a taster, if you're making food and you like to taste as you're going, here's a Holly's Helpful Hint. Put a plate next to this stove, and every time you taste something, whatever amount that you've tasted, put the same amount on that plate. So that by the end of the meal, by the end of the cooking time, and you're gonna go sit down to eat, you can look at that plate and see how much food you've already eaten. And then you can judge how much you eat and put on your plate. So I used to work in a catering kitchen in college, and I'm gonna do one more cracker. And so the chefs there, it's interesting because you have some chefs that are really large and some that are really skinny. And the ones that are really large are the ones that are checking it out along the way or doing taste tests along the way. So by putting a plate there and seeing what you've already eaten, it makes it easier for you to reduce that amount of food. Here we go. When you sit down to eat. So what else can we do for host? And you know, you want to make sure that you're doing healthy foods because you're hosting it. When you have these dinners with your family, which can be quite stressful, why don't you, we start in our grace, we say grace every night and we say what we're thankful for, up to 3 things, because I have one daughter who would go on forever, which is great, but we want to make sure we get to the food while it's still warm. Say something that you're grateful for. Respect other people's opinions. You don't need to push yours on them, but respect other people's opinions. And you know, if the topic's getting touchy, find something of common ground that you guys all relate to or have similar interests in. And just steer that conversation away from the stressful topics. The thing is that the average person gains 11 pounds between Halloween and New Year's. How can we stop that? You can log your food. When you log it, you lose it. It is always when I have my clients log their food, they lose weight. But in this case, you may not gain weight. The other thing is, we talked about it already with alcohol. Alcohol has a lot of calories. You don't want to be drinking your calories. Remember, for a glass of alcohol, have a glass of water. You'll drink less. Sugar, make wise choices. Try to stay away from those sugary foods. I mean, some are okay, but try not to go overboard on it. And then drink plenty of water. Water, water, water. The other thing is, follow your normal schedule as much as possible. Try to get those workouts in. If you can't get them in the morning, get them in the afternoon, evening. I can't work out in the evening because I will never fall asleep. But try to keep a schedule as much as possible. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. 7 to 8 hours of sleep is very necessary for your body, and that's one of the first things that goes. And make sure you're getting a little relaxing and chill time. So that you're not stressing out. Read a book, or try meditation, or do a yoga class. Do the feet up on the wall pose. That's a great one to relax. Just something to de-stress. And I have some other Holly's helpful hints for fitting holidays fitness in. When you go into the mall, park far away and power walk into the mall. Power walk down the parking lot into the mall. Take the stairs instead of the elevator or the escalator. Stand up while you're wrapping presents. I always do that. You burn more calories standing. You can do push-ups against the counter while you're cooking, while you're waiting for the microwave, while you're waiting for this oven, while your coffee is perking. Push-ups against the counter are great. If you're traveling by air, you can always get a lot of steps in at the airport. You know, if hopefully you're traveling with somebody, they can watch the luggage, and you can go power walking down all around the airport so that you can get some steps in, because you're going to be sitting for a while. Also, when you're with the family, do something active. Go out for a walk. Go snowshoeing if you're somewhere where it's nice and snowy, or go skiing, or take out the Nintendo Wii and play bowling, or do one of Wii dance. Wii has dance as well. Anyway, just do something active with the family so that you're getting movement in, purposeful movement, that is. But all of that helps. So let me clean this away, and we'll plate up our lovely pomegranate recipes. And here we have our 2 appetizers with pomegranate brie on a cracker, or you could put it on a little piece of bread, a little loaf, and pomegranate brie and pistachio in a little phyllo cup. And then we have our dessert, pomegranate with dark chocolate bites. All of them with pomegranate, and I'll have all of these recipes on my website, fittingfitnessin.com. And I want to thank you very much for joining me today, and wish you a happy holidays. And thank you, and see you next time on Get Healthy with Holly.